From a simple waitress to a Grammy-nominated artist, I give you Vanessa Carlton, a woman gifted with the piano since the age of 2, giving us countless timeless classics over the years, such as Ordinary Day, White Houses, Pretty Baby, and the one hit that is universally known. I ain't even gonna play the rest, I know what's up. The song was only meant to be an interlude on her demo tape that she recorded for Interscope Records. But shortly after signing, issues arose with her and the label, and Vanessa was seconds away from being dropped. Her demo was in a bag of CDs ready to be scrapped. But right before that happened, the bag was handed off to Ron Fair, a producer at Interscope. He was told to check over the bag and make sure that it was set to throw it out. In the midst of checking out the demos, he came across Vanessa Carlton's and discovered a hidden gem.
There's a fucking smash on this. We cannot drop this artist.
And from there, Vanessa was brought back in the studio to re-record the song with Ron. They reworked it, put it out, and the song took off, reaching number 5 on the Billboard Top 100. And before you know it, she was everywhere. Interviews, live shows, MTV, being nominated for a Grammy. The song even helped create one of the most iconic movie scenes of the 2000s. For that split second in time, Vanessa Carlton was on top of the world, until she seemingly vanished out the limelight, leaving fans of the song to wonder what happened. So that's what we about to get into today, man. Vanessa Carlton, Life After 1,000 Miles. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Time for a little music, and we're in a nice little intimate environment now, making her first ever television performance off the upcoming album, Be Not Nobody. This song is called 1,000 Miles. Put your hands together for Vanessa Carlton.
With Vanessa's hype in the air, the label wasted no time getting her album out, because only 2 months after 1,000 Miles came out, her debut album, Be Not Nobody, released, and to positive reception at that, selling over 100,000 units first week. And that was before streaming, so trust to believe she was doing swell. With the assistance of Ron Flair, this album is a beautiful mix of orchestral, pop, and rock sounds. From track 1 to 11, there are no sleepers on this album, man. If 1,000 Miles ever piqued your interest, I truly suggest you go listen to this album, man. You won't be disappointed. Now, Be Not Nobody was flying off the shelves, because in just 2 months of its release, it reached gold status. And 4 months after that, hitting platinum. During the later part of the year, before going on tour, she released 2 more singles off the album, that being Ordinary Day and Pretty Baby, with Ordinary Day peaking at number 30 on the Billboard Top 100 charts. And on August 20th, she set out to tour, opening up for the Goo Dolls and Third Eye Blind, before eventually headlining her own tour in the latter half of 2002, having Maroon 5 open up for her, who just so happened to also drop their debut album this year. And although Pretty Baby may have failed the chart, it is undeniable that 2002 was the year for Vanessa Carlton. And I also forgot to mention that Vanessa was supposedly supposed to be part of Motown's Christmas special. Now, I ain't seen no footage of it, but they said it happened, so I guess. With the amount of momentum she picked up in 2002, she was able to carry it into the next year, starting the year off with her first TV appearance on the show American Dreams, followed up by being a feature on Counting Crows' version of Big Yellow Taxi, a song that went on to peak at number 42 on the Billboard Top 100. With her name so hot in the spotlight, and Be Not Nobody eventually reaching 2 million units sold. By the summer of 2003, there was no better time than now for Vanessa to get to work on her sophomore album. So she linked up with Stephon Jenkins, member of Third Eye Blind, and also her boyfriend at the time. Ran out to a ranch in San Francisco and got to work. Now, going into the creation of this album, one thing Vanessa knew for certain is that she did not want this album sounding like the last, feeling as if Be Not Nobody sounded a little too perfect, stating in an interview that she felt like the keys sound like pads and the other instruments sounding like synths. With this new album, she wanted it to be raw, wanting the audience to feel the keys as she plays, wanting them to feel the violin as it squeaks, feeling like the imperfections of the music is what makes it beautiful. And throughout the recording process of this album, she was feeling real ambitious, stating that she wanted this album to be her Sgt. Pepper's. And for those of y'all who ain't hip, that's the Beatles. I wasn't hip either, I had to look it up, so I'm with y'all. But overall, it was safe to say that Vanessa truly had confidence in her new project. A confidence that will begin to break, one by one. Starting off at the beginning of the album's rollout, when her new single White Houses was banned from MTV, with her apparently being too graphic with her words when speaking on losing her virginity in the song. Not only was it banned from MTV, but it also got limited airplay because of that. These limitations severely hindered the song from reaching its full potential, but it only reached number 86 on the Billboard Top 100 charts. And with White Houses being the lead single for the album, it's fair to say it is not looking too good for its release. And just to add salt in the wound, the record label barely promoted the album, and with such a poor album rollout, it would be no shocker that this project failed to reach anywhere near close. Be Not Nobody. As her sophomore album Harmonium will only go to sell 36,000 copies first week. A whole 74,000 difference in sales. Now of course the album sales does not reflect the quality of the music, as Harmonium is yet again another beautiful piece of work that I would recommend that you listen to. From White Houses, Annie, San Francisco, Afterglow, Private Radio, this woman makes some good music, man. Y'all get hit. With the failure of Harmonium, Vanessa felt sabotaged. She felt as if the label purposely didn't promote her album to prove a point. The thing about Vanessa is, she was never somebody to just go along with what the label wanted. And obviously, the label didn't like that. Now this was already somewhat of an issue before. It was part of the reason why Vanessa was moments away from being dropped off the label before they found 1,000 Miles. It was already a known thing. If Vanessa didn't rock with it, Vanessa wasn't doing it. So with Vanessa feeling sabotaged, she decided to leave Interscope in 2005. And to promote the album herself, she decided to go on tour, open up for people here and there. But of course, her self-promotion wouldn't do as much as a record label would. And slowly but surely, Vanessa was following up the memories of music listeners. But even in her circumstances, she didn't give up and would be planning to come back the following year with a vengeance.
Well, today's guest has not been here in quite some time. Today she'll hand deliver her new video. Please welcome Vanessa Carlton.
Moving into 2006, Vanessa was now an unsigned artist, looking for a label that would not only support her image, but let her create the music that her heart desires. And a label with these qualities that she ended up gravitating towards would be unexpected to say the least, because she ended up signing with Murder Inc. And I ain't even playing, bro. Vanessa Carlton was on the same label as Ja Rule, and that's crazy. Through a chance meeting, Irv Gotti ran into Vanessa at the UMG office, and the two instantly clicked. Gotti was rocking with her music, and she was messing with the way he did business, stating that the best thing Irv gave her was support, a type of support she's been wanting for a long time. With Vanessa now being an official member of the Inc., she wasted no time getting started on her third studio album, set for a late 2007 release. During the album's creation process, Irv Gotti acted as a co-pilot, letting Vanessa guide her vision for what she wants the album to be. Despite what many would have thought with a pop act signing to a hip-hop label, Vanessa didn't have to change her style or alter her appearance to fit the labels, unlike what Interscope tried to do. With this album, Vanessa was just able to be Vanessa. In fact, this would probably be the most authentic Vanessa we would get musically thus far. While working on the album, Irv Gotti was also filming a reality TV show for reasons. And throughout the show's run, you can see Vanessa show up every now and then. She would state later that she wasn't really that fond of the cameras, but you know what I'm saying? The album's release date was rapidly approaching. And with the public not hearing nothing about Vanessa for over 3 years, now was as good a time as any to let the world know that Vanessa was back, releasing her single, No Little Fairy Tale, where in the very first scene, she's seen reenacting 1,000 Miles before eventually a taxi comes through and destroys the piano. Obviously, by this time, she got tired of the song, which is common. Most artists don't like the song that they blew up with, especially when that's all people know you for. Yeah, that's annoying. She debuted the single on MTV's TRL, and it did get some airplay, but it did fail to chart. But with the audience it did reach, they loved it. And the song was also featured in the episode of Gossip Girl, so it ain't just go nowhere. With the traction she picked up from her single, Vanessa Carlton finally released her third studio album, Heroes and Thieves. Now the album didn't do well commercially, but critically, it was praised, being regarded as her best album to date by many, including me. I personally love this album, man. From the upbeat sound of Fairy Tale, the catchy melody of Hands on Me, the beautiful piano ballad of the album title track, and more than this, bro, this album is it, bro. And I know I gassed up the other two, but if you're just gonna listen to any Vanessa Carlton album, listen to this one. This is cold. Now, Heroes and Thieves will be the first and only album she will release on Ink Records, as sometime shortly after this, she will leave the label. And not only that, this will also be the last album she will release for quite some time, as the next album she released wouldn't come until 2011 with Rabbits on the Run, an album where she changes her style up to more of a folk sound, an album produced independently, by the way. So yeah, she never really gained back that audience that she captured with her first album, but I think she may actually prefer it this way, because now the only person that can tell her what to do with her music is her and her alone.
I don't really know how to do these announcements. Like, should I be sitting at the piano? I thought this was like sort of a cool Masterpiece Theater vibe.
Welcome to the kingdom.
After Rabbits on the Run in 2011, Vanessa has only released 2 more albums, that being Liberman in 2015 and Love is an Art in 2020. Not being connected to a label anymore, she doesn't have that pressure to keep releasing an album every single year anymore. She drops them when she feel like it, and I ain't got no problem with it. In between releases, she has since become a mother, giving birth to her daughter back in 2015. She got married in 2013 after saying that she wouldn't be a bride. She got to star in her first ever Broadway musical called Beautiful back in 2019, and has since made a mini documentary talking about the creation of 1,000 Miles. If you want a little more detail into how that came to be, I suggest you go watch that video. And nowadays, she be touring, chilling in her own little bubble. And honestly, what more can you ask for? After getting done dirty by the music industry, she was able to bounce back and continue to create in her own lane, on her own time, and of her own will. And speaking on getting done dirty by the industry, why don't you go watch this video while I break down 3 of the biggest Disney stars that for one reason or another failed in their music careers.